All right, it's time to talk to Sonia at Bryan Insurance Agency. Now, we know Halloween coming up, that we all know all the tips and stuff about safety for trick-or-treaters, but, having your home prepared, having the place you're going to be where people are going to be showing up prepared for those that are going to be coming for trick-or-treating.
Yeah, Rick, at our house, Thanksgiving is the huge holiday, so it's hard to believe, but Halloween has surpassed Thanksgiving now as far as the most popular holiday in terms of how much money people spend on things and preparation. Christmas is first and Halloween is second. It's just a big deal these days, and so because we know people do spend a lot of money decorating their house, doing all the parties, that kind of thing, I thought it would be a good time for us just to remind people that are homeowners, or if you rent a home and you're going to have trick-or-treaters or have a Halloween party, that there's some things that you might want to think of to keep things safe.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you could be dealing with. I mean, people falling over things, tripping over things, things falling on somebody, just all kinds of different situations you have to be prepared for.
Yeah, and, anytime that somebody is at your home and they're injured, there's a very good chance that you could be held responsible for that. So you want to make sure things are safe. So one of the things that you should do, since obviously people usually come to trick or treat at night, is before Halloween, during the daylight, walk around your property and look for any things that, possible dangers that might not be able to see in the dark, whether it's an extension cord that's left out or an uneven walking surface or anything like that somebody could trip. Just look around and try to, if there's things that people could possibly get hurt on at your property that they wouldn't see in the dark, then get those things taken care of. And then when it comes to Halloween night, do your best to light up things so that they can see. Obviously, you'll want to have your porch light on if you want trick-or-treaters, but have your walkways lit, as much lighting as it, and there's all kinds of cool Halloween lighting available, of course, but make sure that people can see that they're not going to trip and get hurt when they're walking up to your house. And, whether you agree with this or not, the more that you decorate, the more that you do things to make those trick-or-treaters want to come to your house, then that is kind of an invitation for risk. You obviously, if you want them to come and you do all this stuff, then there is a bigger chance that, there's going to be a risk. So do be responsible to avoid, any injuries. Now, if you're going to have a haunted house at your house, all of these rules definitely apply. I've seen back when our kids were little and we would take them, some people would have like a little mini haunted house, and that's always fun. But if you do that, you want to make sure that the flooring is safe, that there's exit lighting, that the exit's clear so nobody trips. And if you're charging admission for a haunted house at your home or any other kind of entertainment, if you're charging admission, that is considered a business, and so you need to really talk to your insurance agent about that, because there's a very good chance that any injuries as a result of that event that you're charging money for is not going to be covered on your homeowners if it's considered a business. So that's something to be thinking about too.
Also some different things, talk about the decorations. I've seen situations where people will put out tiki torches, or maybe they'll build a small fire and have some water boiling on a pot or something like that. Just be aware of the fact that there are some things, if you do decorate, that could get out of hand and could cause a problem, not just to the people, but also to your own home.
That's right. You want to avoid any kind of an open flame. It's really, those little bags that people have and that they put the candles in. Those are really cute, but it's better if you could use those battery operated candles or other kind of lighting instead of so you won't have the fire hazard. And don't drape costumes or other fabric over light bulbs, because that could generate heat and can start a fire. When you think about where you place your decorations, don't put them where there's going to be traffic flowing. You don't want them to tip over, blow away, or become a tripping hazard. So think about that. And another thing, I know there's a lot of crafty people. I don't do crafts very well, but there's some people that really make some really cool looking Halloween decorations. But avoid things that are highly combustible, like dried flowers, corn stalks, crepe paper, because those, if you're going to have those near a fire or other kind of light bulbs or heaters, those are highly combustible, and you have to be really careful there.
Another huge thing to be thinking about if you have older kids who are not going to be trick-or-treating, going to be at the home, make sure you know where they're at, not up on the house throwing water balloons or doing something that's going to cause problems for other people.
Yeah, and take it from the voice of experience. Our son, who's 29 now, confessed, about 5 years ago that he and his friends used to get on top of one of his friends' house and throw water balloons. And, of course, we had no idea that's what he was doing. And we told him the statute of limitations hadn't ended and we were still going to ground him. But all joking aside, yeah, make sure everybody likes to have fun, and we know about the pranks, but really keep an eye on where your kids are and try to find some good, safe fun that they can have that is not going to be a hazard.
What do you do as a homeowner if you're dealing with possible vandalism to a vehicle or a home on a Halloween night?
Well, of course, to avoid it, you need to have everything well lit, I think. The presence of where it's obvious that you're home and everything's lit up is a good thing. However, if it happens to you, I would recommend calling the police. Obviously, don't try to take the law in your own hands or anything like that, but call the police. Best thing you can do is to avoid it by having things lit up and hard for people to get out there and do. But if it does happen and there is damage to your property, call the police, because there's a good chance that you're not the only one that it happened to. So, hopefully they can find out who did it. And the last thing that I want to say is, people think, oh, insurance people, they just want to take the fun out of everything. And
they do.
And they don't. They don't. Don't be scared about these risks. Just be smart about them. Have fun. It's a fun holiday. Have fun with it. If you're worried about something, talk to your insurance agent. Like I always say, it's always better to know before something happens and not after something happens. And consider, find out what your limit of liability that you carry. Maybe you need an umbrella to give you more limit, but avoid, do the best that you can to avoid accidents. But we're not saying don't have fun. We just want you to be aware of the possibilities and some things that you can do to alleviate those things.
Talking to Sonia at Bryant Insurance Agency. Now, folks need to get a hold of you guys about maybe ask some questions or about their insurance or different things. How do they do that?
Well, you can give us a call at 940-549-2525. You can come to our office. We're on the second floor of the Sierra Bank Building in downtown Graham. Or you can visit us on the web at www.bryanins.com.
So give them a call today. You'll be glad you did. Stay tuned. We have more coming up here in the 8 o'clock hour. Don't you go away.